I'm unbeatable, y'all. I got joy. CPI. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. Previously on Kimba TV. Right? How many times have we seen this? If it gaps, go with it. If it gaps, go with it. If it gaps, go with it. At least to value range. All right? And then you can sprinkle in things like settlement, value. All right? The biggest thing is what though? VWAP. I left y'all with the biggest sort of thing. Hey, if you're long, you got to get above VWAP. Well, goddamn. Let's go! Let's go! All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see the reaction, and then I'm gonna nerd out for about 20-25 minutes and get ready for US market open. Let's get it! Let's get it! 3, 2, 1, CPI Bugatti! I'm juicing. Juice! Juicy Magucci! Juicy Magucci! Akachoya! Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? If you guys need the levels, here you go. I think these are all, I think I fixed them while I was waiting for coffee. Previous day high, daily open, value area high, EQ, settlement. Yeah, this is right. Yeah, the math is the math, boy. Let's go, let's go, let's juice. Nah, how we doing? Hey, let me shout everybody out, motherfuckers. Hey, Mo Boy, how we doing? Snoo, how we doing? Robinachi, hey Z, Z, Steve Soul, Akachoya. Let's juice, let's juice, let's juice, let's juice, let's juice. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Who juicing? Who juicing? Who juicing? Who juicing? Why won't this magnify? There we go. We got Nebco, Steve Fire, let's go, Calling Noob, Burbeezy, Tigran, 60, Hazy, Florin. How we doing? Never give up, swap easy. We juicing, we mathin', and we juicing. Nikolai says, Kimba, what is CPI? Help me. What do you mean? I hope you're not asking me what CPI is, Consumer Price Index. You're asking me what it is, right? It's 0.3 as expected. So first, stop the music for a second. Stop the music. If you feel like you don't know what this means, I would say that you probably failed yourself in terms of preparation. I would hope you're not asking me what CPI is, like what CPI stands for today, right? Consumer Price Index. We nerded out on FOMC minutes, and so we know exactly what Jerome Powell wanted. If you've been paying attention to Altcoin Nerd Out the last couple Saturdays, you know what this means. You should know what this means. You know what this means? Does everybody understand what this means? We're going to get a rate cut next week. Altcoin season is on. The narrative that I want for a bullish rest of the year and next year is good. That's all this means for me. You know how long I've been waiting for this 0.3 to show up, especially with PCI that was kind of funky last month? All this means is that we're probably going to get a rate cut next week, which means that it's bullish, which means that altcoin season is on, fellas. All right. So easy money, Bugatti money, ladies and gentlemen. First things first. There's a couple of things that we've been highlighting about CPI. The first thing is the initial move is debate. All right, Lukey Luke is asking when giveaway. Don't worry about that. Lukey Luke, you don't have one comment on any YouTube videos. You're not eligible to win anyways, Lukey Luke. Are you sure you've done everything that you're supposed to for the giveaway? Luke, you can't even win. How many YouTube comments and how many Twitter replies have you left? It says 0. You're not even eligible. All right, but if you're a lion cub, don't worry so much about the giveaway. All right, but there's a couple of things in terms of CPI today that we always talk about. First off, how many times have I said that the initial move is jabate? If it pumps when the number comes out, you might want to take a short. If the motherfucker dumps, you might want to take a long. I would hope that if you're a lion cub, you looked at the previous couple of CPI days. All right. Chuchi is asking, what's your top altcoins? We've already went over it for the last 6 weeks, so make sure you get caught up on the altcoin nerd outs. Previous Saturdays, we talked about, I listed the altcoins that were spot buying. I've given long entries on almost all 24 altcoins. So go to the Discord and ask a mod for the altcoin nerd outs. Okay, I've already listed the 20 altcoins that we're spot buying. We've already started our challenge. We've already been spot buying. So make sure you get caught up, okay, buddy? Exclamation YouTube, exclamation Discord. All right. They're pinned in the Discord. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing is that on a day like today, you show up with a plan and you're just executing. If you're asking what the plan is or what to do the day of, you're fucked. Yeah, because you're competing with people like me that have planned for weeks for something like this. So if you still don't have a plan going into, market open in 45 minutes or whatever, sit out the day and just try to watch. Vishante says, my plan is to not get stopped out. Hey, that's a good plan. That's usually a CPI plan, right? Good joya! How we doing? So first things first. I'm gonna nerd out a little bit now that I kind of got to see what it was, and I'm gonna kind of do my higher time frame, smaller time frame stuff. We have VWAP, we have daily open. As long as we're above the trend line, the longs are Gucci, right? So failed auction below. Just kind of looking at this, I would think it's either a short if we get up into the point of control around like 100 thou. Probably for derivatives, it's around like 99.4 or 99.5. I don't really know exactly what the derivative thing is because I'm looking at CME. But a couple of things. You've got like an obvious harmonic. So there might be a short attempt around the 100,000, the point of control for CME. And there might be a long opportunity around the daily open. The harmonic would take you to grab that 92. But yeah, with this context now, I don't know if 92 will hold. So you've got a possible short. You've got a long, depending on if that level gets tapped first or not. So you've got a, if one happens, then two, or if two happens, then one. You probably don't need to look at anything like EXO today. What the fuck? Yeah, and it'll just be Boogammas. So we'll wait for Boogammas to realign. It's going to realign in about 45 minutes when U.S. markets open, and let's get it. Okay, but it looks like it's pretty easy money, Bugatti money today, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm loving the CPI. You know what I mean? Does everybody understand how we've been waiting for this for the last like 6-7 months? We've been talking about this CPI since the first altcoin nerd out, right? Because this CPI is pretty much the domino piece that's going to impact the FOMC for next week. Now that we have seen CPI, guess what? We're probably going to get rate cuts. And guess what? If we get that rate cut, infinite money printer go burr, net Fed liquidity should go up, and altcoin season should begin. That easy. But yeah, Luke, we'll probably do the giveaway, like around lunchtime, maybe market close. I'm not really sure. Obviously, you know, I'm not Oprah Winfrey. This isn't a giveaway stream. You know what I mean? We got to focus on the trades and the volatility. But once it chills out, we'll probably do a 10K giveaway. All right. Luke and everybody, stop the music for a second. Luke and all the other Lion Cubs wondering how the giveaway works. The giveaway is my way of thanking you guys for always being around. So, you know, it's going to take into consideration how many YouTube highlights have you watched, and do you leave any comments? How many Twitter posts have you seen of mine, and do you leave any comments or replies? What does your Discord participation look like? What does your Twitch chat participation look like? It's my money that I'm giving away. So I don't want to give it away to somebody that's just going to lose it. I want to prioritize people that I feel like is going to have a high probability of actually juicing up on the giveaway. Make sense? So I need to know that you've got a good shot of juicing it and not just wasting it. All right. So the giveaway bot will take everything into consideration. Sounds good? All right, Luke. So from what I can see, you haven't, you've barely watched any YouTube highlights. You haven't left any comments on YouTube. I don't see any Twitter replies from you. I don't think I see that many Discord posts. So yeah, the system needs to feel like you're actually going to juice. All right. So I'm not eligible anyways. I can't comment YouTube video, error message. Yeah, I don't know about that. But and you can do other things too. Like you don't have to necessarily be commenting on YouTube, but it's going to prioritize people that do. Yeah, basically the system just needs to know that you're not going to get wrecked if I give it to you. Yeah, otherwise I'd rather give it to somebody else. Make sense? Yeah, this is pretty straightforward. And this is kind of like when you start to figure out, like, do you really understand what this means? You can make sure you type !rewind and listen to how we reacted, but don't forget, we had plans on what we would do weeks ago if this is Gucci. Same thing with next week's FOMC. So this is kind of like altcoin nerd out. Sort of like higher time frame plays and plans that we've had kind of working together. Alrighty. So !rewind, !YouTube. But yeah, just follow S&P. I'm trying to get TP'd out on the S&P long. So Bitcoin is kind of easy. Again, same thing as this week. I'm practicing. I'm trying to see if I can, read the Bugammas fairly correctly, because I want to do a big ass position for S&P next week, like we've been planning. So got in a quick small little S&P long. I'm just kind of practicing, right? Reading the Bugammas. This is what we saw in the morning. I think that's pretty evident that, it's going to try to go tap that 61 hundo. We got to be careful as we get towards that Fibception level. So if the GEX is the bottom range and we're going to go with 61 hundo or 60.95 as the top of Fibception, you can see where we're at right now. All right, and if we extend it to the whole range, it's basically pixel fucking golden pocket with the Fibception. So, we've seen this before. Could this be the reversal point? Sure, right? Because what this means is that towards end of the day, you're gonna close away from 61 hundo. So, we got to keep our head in a swivel here. We're approaching levels of interest. You guys know what kind of Fibonacci support you would want to see. You would want to basically hold 99.3, right? As long as 99.3 is held, then the long is good, right? But if it fails auction above 99.3 or swing fails or structurally just loses 99.3, then we're going to rotate to the downside, right? So That's it. Just kind of level to level. You know what fibs have to get turned into as support. You know that VWAP has to hold. You know that the point of control that we were thinking about shorting now has to hold as support, right? And that's why you don't put blind limits in. That's why you look at the reaction. That's why you're patient, right? So hopefully everybody brought their best. Nobody doing some goofy, stupid shit today. All right, everything that we talked about for the last couple weeks, today is the pop quiz day, right? So identify levels, look for structure, look for edge, and let's take it. Sounds good? The 100,000 on CME, the golden pocket, and the 99.4, 99.5 should have been resistance. So now it better fucking be support. And if it does some shit like this today, well, goddamn, then that's when that's an easy short. All right. Otherwise, if it turns into support, then what's the level that I would expect to get hit? That single print up there, right? And that's the big thang. All right. Math is math, ladies and gentlemen. We Gucci? Look at this. Pixel perfect. Have we not done this before, or is this the first time? Is anybody surprised that it's pixel fucking the golden pot? I would hope not. We've done this before. All right. So I would love, I know where I would want to short. I want to get my TPs, and let's see what happens when we get to that level. Sounds good? We have levels that we know should be resistance, and if it's not resistance, then you're looking for it to get turned into support.
Motherfucker, the math is the math.
Okay, fuck, I forgot. But anyways, yeah, just have the levels identified, ladies and gentlemen. All right, everybody good to go? I hope we're mathing. I hope we're juicing. Everything looks basically just kind of normal. So, Biddy, Juice.
What did you say? He just told us to be prepared.
Look at Rune. Rune, I got stopped out and re-entered. But look at the... look at this. Yeah, so that's Rune. AR. Yeah, I had to get back in because my initial long got stopped out in tiny profit, but eventually took the same entry again and re-entered, and same thing. Look at that. Peanut, I'm not filled on peanut. I'm not filled on peanut. Fuck! Yeah, no, I'm not. This is mega juice though. It's up 30%. Yeah, I'm not filled on peanut, and I'm not filled on whiff either, even though we had that box identified as potential support. Yeah, we may have missed whiff. This is kind of interesting. I would maybe give it one more day, and then we can think about chasing whiff. Yeah, but I didn't, I'm in the Rune and the AR because I chased it, but peanut I'm not in. And then whiff I'm not in either. Yeah, but if you heard what I said about this and what I said about FedNet liquidity, you know I'm not tripping. You know I'm not tripping. You know I'm taking it level by level. You heard me, right? If you heard what I said about this and what I said about FedNet liquidity and about altcoin season, you know that I'm not tripping, right? So it is what it is, and if we're mathing, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be able to chase it in a safe way, you know? You know what I mean? Kachaya! Freshly Faded says, is 92K out the door now? No, it's level by level. You gotta see what the reaction is. So that question kind of makes me think, did you miss out like the 3-4 hours we talked about this? And why it could make another, it could not sweep that? We talked about this single print when it was on this day, when it was coming up on this day. And also some of y'all were asking about, is this single print not possible when this happened? And now y'all are talking about, is this not possible when this happened? Y'all are flip-flopping hella hard because we just talked, somebody was asking me, is this single print no longer possible because of this? And now y'all are asking me, is this not possible because of this? It's level to level, bro. We're not here trying to predict the future or say that what something is not possible or whatever. We're not doing that. I'll tell you what, if we fail auction and we get back below 100K, then yes, that's very possible. In fact, I would say that if we lose this big ass trend line, I don't know if 92 is where you would want to long, my guy. It might go lower. Do you understand? Do you, like, you see this, right? For me, brother, if we don't change structure and make another higher high and like it starts to turn from here, or even if it goes all the way to the single point and it starts to go and it loses that orange line, I don't know if I want to long that 92 anymore. I think it goes lower. Okay, were you here for this? Like, do you understand what is at stake at this level? So I don't know like what time frame you're looking at, what you're planning, okay? If this comes back to here, and if the reaction looks good, that might end up being a long, okay? But we don't do anything blind, and we don't know what it's gonna do until we get to see the reaction, right? I haven't done anything blind. But if it makes a failed auction at the 100K level, then that's kind of like, instead of blindly shorting this, you understand that that should be resistance. However, if it pops through, well, then don't take it. Imagine like trying to blind limit short that when CPI is bullish and you know that the Bugammas are going to 61 hundo. You're stupid. Okay? How about you just be fucking patient? You let it do its thing. Maybe S&P runs up and taps 6,100, makes a bear div. Maybe Bitcoin does a failed auction. And then once you see that a resistance that should have turned into support actually is resistance, then take that thang. Yeah. You Gucci? But level by level, you know, we talk about it every single day, man. You have an opportunity to be your best. And on a day like today, no blinds, you know, trust and go with S&P Confluence, and just do your best and take the easy setups. Mandelo says the fact they save that sweep, if it loses that level, I could see a big cascade just based on history. 100%. 100%, Mandelo. I would totally agree, brother. Yeah, I don't know if I want to long this 92 now, right? It would really, because a lot of longs are open. A lot of longs are open now. So it's, you know, like this stopped out a whole bunch of top longers, right? Well, those same top longers bought this wick back. They really tried to save this. Okay, so dude, you lose this again, you know, like it's gonna start like a big panic, I think. So you're right there, Mandelo. Yeah, so it's level to level, man. So does it need to? No, it doesn't need to grab anything. It's really more about what it would represent if it didn't grab. So chat, do you, if it doesn't grab all the single prints, is it more bullish or more bearish? And Infamous, I don't want you to ever take my word for it. I want you to see it for yourself. So you're going to have hundreds, if not thousands of opportunities where the price doesn't grab all of the single prints, or it does, and just continue to watch the follow through on the price action. You know, if you're a scalper and you're on the 5-minute, my interpretation of single prints getting grabbed or not on the 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour is going to be completely different than your interpretation of it. But the good news is this is not going to be the last time you're going to see something like this. This happens over and over again. So, just keep continuing to watch. And like I said, the most important thing is being able to recall what you've seen before when the bullets start flying. So here, let me put it back on the 5-minute, and we're just going to see, like, do you know what this is? This is the 8A6 Golden Pockets parents, which is the original 75-05. So you see this? Dink, dink. So if it really is on the smaller time frame bullish, you're going to be able to turn this into support. Some people are going to try to take that long, and this is their stop loss. Some people are going to understand that that's not that great of a high, and so instead of shorting here, you might be waiting for something like this. Damn! How the fuck? Jiminy Christmas. Let me get on Warzone right now, because this is spooking me. But you know what though? I don't know how many times I have to say this. I'm not looking to short Bitcoin. If the math lines up, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, I mean, that's a bad high. So just be patient with it, man. I'd rather let the structure change, But do you, boo-boo? Do you, boo-boo? We just mathing. Um, 50 minutes on the hourly candle close. And we have an hour and 50 minutes on S&P, and I'm just trying to get my S&P papinks, man. Can I just get my S&P papinks? Stop the music, stop the music. Average Wong says, is it appropriate to start chasing for these altcoin entry, or do we still have time to take it slow? Would it be appropriate to assume that you did not !rewind? Alpeasy asked a really good question in regards to how I would chase with, for example, Average Wong. So I would want you to listen to that. All right, Average Wong. The way that I would answer that, brother, okay, is there are specific data points that I'm looking at that tells me when things have started or ended. All right, so if you go back and listen to or watch Altcoin Nerd Out episode 1, the way in which I determine if altcoin season is going to start is 1, Fed net liquidity, but conceptually, I'm looking for what? Quantitative easing. Okay? I want the Federal Reserve to start buying and increasing its balance sheet. So money printer go burr. I feel like all of next year is probably going to be pretty bullish. All right. And every time the Fed net liquidity goes up, it means that altcoin season starts. When that goes down, it has marked the beginning and the end of altcoin season for the last 3 altcoin seasons. So I'm going to do the math and go with the math. So theoretically speaking, you could argue that altcoin season hasn't really even started, aka retail, the broke retail people haven't been given the relief and the feeling like, oh, we juicing. All right, I still feel like, there's a lot of people that might be struggling, but when people start to get really bullish, it's when they have a little bit of extra money. So wait for that economic sort of blueprint to show up. All right, we've been waiting for CPI and FOMC specifically for next week. All right, we know what would be able to continue that narrative. With the CPI that we got today, we're looking at a very high probability rate cuts are going to happen, which means we're still good for altcoin season to begin. So all of that tells me because this was your question, Average Wong. Is it appropriate to start chasing for these altcoin entries? Well, if Fed net liquidity hasn't gone up, if quantitative easing technically hasn't, from a policy standpoint, hasn't started, altcoin season hasn't started. So that's the way that I would answer your question. Now, the reason why I want you to listen to how I explain to Alpeasy different ways that you can counter chasing is you do spot, Average Wong. So have you been hearing about how I'm going to do a 100K to 1 mil challenge on derivative trading? And that's going to be on the VIP YouTube. And I'm also going to do a 100K to 1 mil challenge on spot. I've already actually started. Are you aware of the 25, 28 altcoins and meme coins and shit coins and AI coins that I've been looking to spot buy and have been spot buying? Are you aware of that list? That was 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks ago. So please get caught up on that if you haven't yet. All right. But so you should be doing a combination of dollar cost averaging on spot and also trying to get into leverage positions. You got to do both. And we've been talking about doing both since the very beginning. All righty. At the end of the day, Average Wong, it's still going to come down to things like Bitcoin structure and S&P confluence, okay? On a day like today, and especially next week on Wednesday with FOMC, I'm gonna just be looking at S&P Bugammas and trying to figure out what traditional markets wanna do. And I wanna know the general sentiment. Are people risk on or people risk off? If people don't even wanna be in the position for like S&P, to be bullish, then why the fuck would they be bullish about Bitcoin? It's the riskiest asset compared to like one of the safest investments. So, you know, I'm going to just continue to, probably I'll loosen up on the S&P confluence on Friday just a little bit, especially after around 11 o'clock. But tomorrow is PPI, so I'm going to continue to keep an eye on Bugammas. And then next Monday and Tuesday, same thing. I'm going to be following Bugammas. Longers, I'm rooting for you.
I'm juicing.
Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, bears, we're all lions. Hey, Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. He said he's gonna smack the shit out of you, lions. Hey, stay safe. Don't do nothing goofy without me. If you're gonna do something goofy, do it with me. I can't wait to regroup with you guys tomorrow. Let's go. Lock it in. Peace, lions. Stay safe.